I'm on Facebook. Can I put it in search?
You can.
What would I put in it?
Oh, under Facebook?
Yeah.
If you go to Facebook Messenger, hey, everybody, this is Alan. I am live, and we're having some, Denise said, technical difficulties. We're kind of having technical difficulties, and the link has been shared as the participant link for people to tune in. So Sherry, as you see, is looking to watch the video, the training. And so, hey, Sherry, how are you?
How can you see me?
And so what we're doing is you can watch it from the Team Elevation group page.
Ooh.
You can watch it from the Destiny Unlimited group page, or you can watch it from the YouTube channel. The YouTube link is in the comments. So for anyone who likes that. And Sherry, did you see that?
I see. Yeah, your name, and you sent me a link.
Under Messenger. So if you'll click on that link, you'll be able to watch us on YouTube.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All righty. All righty. So
my camera is not working, so I'm hoping that the PowerPoint will work.
No worries at all. And I don't have that PowerPoint, but so we are, as everyone can see, having a little bit of technical difficulties, but hey, we're going to get there. This is a presentation. Let me tell you. So we just got back from a tour event where we went to Independence, Missouri. We went to, hey, Debbie Costastella. Hey, Denise. Hey, Victoria from Florida. Well, we went to Independence, Missouri. We went to Joplin, Missouri. We went to Dallas, Texas. Hey, hey, hey. And we went to Birmingham, Alabama. And so we had a great event. And so Inge did this presentation at each of these events. I'm going to bring her up again. There she is. Hey, Inge, she's back. And so this is an amazing presentation that she did. Inge, I think you want to click on the bottom, click share, and share your PowerPoint. So Lily is on. Lily, if you can hear me, let me bring Lily up here. Oh. So Lily, if you're part of the Destiny Unlimited group, you can go watch there. If you're not, then the comments, I have a YouTube channel that you can click on and watch this from the YouTube channel. Or if you're part of the Team Elevation group page, you can go there. So that's where you'll need to go. And Inge is working on bringing up her presentation, and we'll get started here momentarily. This is, I tell you, I was talking about when we did the road show, we went to those 4 amazing locations, had great people there. This presentation that you're about to see, I mean, I've been with the company for 10 years. We've had green energy the whole time, and I learned a lot from Inge's presentation about our green energy product. So it is an amazing product. It does great stuff for you. We got lots of people who I see in the chat and in the comments who are waiting to see it. Whether you're watching it from live or the recording, bear with us. Inge, are you able to share your screen?
I did click on share. Can you see the presentation?
No, ma'am.
Wow.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
It should be in the bottom on the screen where you see me and you.
So I see choose what to share.
Yeah, when you go share, it'll say share screen. Mm-hmm. And then you'll click on that share screen, and it'll give you the option to share Windows or a Chrome tab. What you're sharing is a Windows tab.
Okay, there we are. That makes sense. Okay.
There you go. Yep. Oh, look at there. There it is. Awesome. Awesome. And then if you want to click presentation, PowerPoint presentation, or slideshow, you can do that as well. And that'll be a full screen, or you can delete the side on the stuff. Either way. So just so you folks know, I mean, this is an amazing presentation, and Inge does such a great job, and she's presented this to a lot of people out there on a road show. And as I mentioned, I've been here for 10 years this month, and I love the green energy product. I really do. But the information that Inge brings with this presentation and just her knowledge and her wisdom and her expertise, as most of you already know, is powerful. So, Inge, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, I'm going to remove myself and turn it over to Dr. Inge Wetzel. And on your screen, just so you know, Inge, you're seeing the document recovery on the left-hand side and the slide presentations. But either way, it's fine. They can see it. So I'm going to remove myself and let Inge take this away.
Okay, I just have a full screen green energy, so I'm not sure what to do other than that. I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's great. It's perfect. Go right ahead.
Alrighty. So I'm going to talk about green energy. And like Alan said, it's his favorite product. And as I started studying these different formulas, it quickly became my favorite product. And I put everybody on it because it's an incredible product and it does so much. It's energy without caffeine just because of what it does. So it creates a natural edge. So it contains proteolytic enzymes that power oxygen flow for natural jitter-free energy. In other words, it helps produce nitric oxide. I'll come back to that in a minute. It also helps sharpen focus and clarity. So it clears the mind as well and creates energy there. It's good for muscle relief and pains and joint supports because it's highly anti-inflammatory. And you will see that some of you, I'm sure, will recognize some of these ingredients. And it has digestive benefits as well for any kind of diet. So it's pretty incredible. It is a fabulous combination of ingredients that cover a wide array of health benefits. So here's a picture of oxygenated blood versus deoxygenated blood. Many people know about nitric oxide, how important it is. But more important than that, it is to understand that when blood is properly oxygenated, it is difficult for disease to live in your body. Everybody is getting into these hyperbaric oxygen chambers these days because of the benefits of oxygen. Well, the nitric oxide that is created with this formula helps you to oxygenate your blood. And it's a lot cheaper.
Inge,
yeah?
We're still looking at slide 1 on our end.
I just went to slide 2.
There you go.
Whoa.
There you go. That's perfect. You got it.
I'll just go out of full screen and then it works better. Okay. So like I said, it is very, very important to have oxygen, good oxygen levels in the blood in order to prevent disease. Nitric oxide improves circulation. It improves stamina. It's a vasodilator. In other words, it can help with blood pressure. It relieves muscle soreness. It boosts exercise performance. So it's a great formula to take when you're working out. It may even benefit diabetics by increasing insulin and allowing for better blood sugar control. Those are all benefits of the nitric oxide. And for erectile dysfunction, it helps as well, but I would combine it with essentials. That is an amazing formula to go hand in hand for that particular situation. Rouleaux effect. I don't know how many people have had live blood analysis done. I used to do this. We had a microscope and we take a prick of the finger and a drop of blood under a microscope. And this is what you would be looking at, or part of what you'd be looking at. You see these blood cells just stacked on top of each other like pancakes. What that means is that they cannot be oxygenated. In order to be oxygenated, they need to be free flowing. So if you were to take green energy and take another prick of blood about 10, 15 minutes later. Oh, where did that slide go? Something got moved. I lost a slide in here somewhere. So all these cells come apart and flow freely, and the outer edge of these cells is changed, and you can see that there's oxygen and life present. So that is how quickly this particular formula makes a change in the oxygen levels in your blood cells. So that's very important. Then the next ingredient here that we're looking at, or one of the first ingredients actually, is green tea. Green tea, as many of you know, is an antioxidant. It's also a stimulant. It helps to reduce cholesterol. A lot of people didn't realize that about green tea. It helps stimulate the immune system. It prevents abnormal cells, or cancer cells are abnormal cells, obviously. It helps prevent microbial infections. It also helps prevent tooth decay. So if some of you even drink green tea, it doesn't hurt to swish the tea around your teeth, right? It inhibits enzyme activity. that can cause development of enlarged and abnormal prostate. Each capsule contains enough green tea to provide you with, say, 1 cup of green tea. That is the benefit of that level. And then this is the other ingredient that I know that lots of people have heard about. It is bromelain. And bromelain, as you can see in the picture, is found in pineapple. I remember many, many years ago when I first got into the health industry, we heard about bromelain because every chiropractor used to recommend it because of its anti-inflammatory effects. Well, this formula has 2.5 million units of bromelain per serving, and each time you take this. So that is a huge amount to fight inflammation in the body. So what does bromelain do? It has many, many benefits besides anti-inflammatory. So it reduces discomfort and swelling, especially of nose and sinuses and gums and other body parts. This is after surgery or injury. This is all based on clinical studies, and I will provide you the links that all these studies come from for those of you that are interested in geeking out a little bit. We enjoy geeking out, right? Kind of stimulating. It's also promoted for joint and cellular health, digestive problems, again, because it's an enzyme. It's beneficial for muscle soreness, so also good when you work out in that area. And it's also promoted for burns, and it's used topically, not necessarily in this particular formula, although, of course, you can take it internally for any kind of injury as well. It contains chemicals that interfere with the growth of abnormal cells. Again, you know what abnormal cells are, and it slows down blood clotting. People have thick blood. They have sludge running through their arteries, and that sludge causes plaque buildup. It causes damage to the arterial walls due to free radical damage. So again, here is another benefit of bromelain that helps with preventive blood clotting. Of course, you need blood clotting when you're injured, but I mean, if the blood is flowing in your arteries, you need it to be free flowing so that all the blood cells also can be free flowing. There was a study that was done in 2006 that gave people either bromelain preparation or a popular anti-inflammatory drug. After 6 weeks, they decided that it was as beneficial as the anti-inflammatory drug. The difference was it had no side effects. And that is what we love about natural health. We can give people food, just like this formula. We can give people food, and it does no harm. And that is truly health, and that is truly health care and not sick care, what we do. Other studies have backed up these findings, and bromelain, again, was effective and safe for joint discomforts, joint pain, arthritis, whatever you want to call it, and it had no side effects. Then there was another study where they treated 59 individuals with blunt force trauma. Duke University discovered that mice treated with bromelain experienced a reduced incidence of irritable bowel syndrome. And then it also reduced the severity of this bowel dysfunction, or IBS, in mice with pre-existing conditions. Lots of people have IBS. I get questions all the time. And this is one of the best formulas that you can give these people, along, of course, with our Zeolite Detox Pack, because we've got to heal that gut, right? And that's what the Pure Body Drops do. But when you add this green energy to the formula, people are really going to notice a difference. Mice that were induced with cancer cells and then given bromelain had significant increased survival rates to those who did not take bromelain. Again, why not give this to somebody if you can help them survive, regardless of what treatment people choose, whether they go alternative or whether they go medical? If they add this to their regimen, their survival chances go up. Who doesn't want to give hope to people, right? So it also slowed down the development of cancer cells, as well as reduced the volume and the number of cancer cells in mice. The researchers believe that bromelain protects against these abnormalities because it induces cell death, or as they call it in the medical community, it's called apoptosis. And apoptosis just means cell death. The abnormal cells die. We don't want them in our body. We need them to die off and leave. So it also could inhibit the proliferation as well as the survival of esophageal cancer cells. Though it should be noted that this was done in vitro. In vitro means it was done in a dish, so it was not done on actually people. But esophageal cancer, or Barrett's esophagus, as it's also called at times, is caused by acid reflux. Again, and I'll come back to the end of the presentation, this can also help with acid reflux because food cannot come back up if it's not in the stomach. So undigested food is what causes acid reflux. Here are your clinical studies for those of you who want to take a screenshot of all these links. Happy geeking. It's a lot of fun to read these studies. Anyway, that's just for your information to know that I didn't just create all this information and actually have resources for it. Here is a very exciting enzyme as well. Serrapeptidase is something I've been long looking for. The reason I mention here that Touchstone Essentials is plant source is because all the other forms on the market are from the silkworm. It's not a plant-based enzyme, but it is with Touchstone, as we know that all products from Touchstone are plant source. There are no animal sources in our products at all. So they think that serrapeptidase works in 3 different ways. It reduces inflammation, which of course helps to speed up repair. It also helps to alleviate discomfort. And it also enhances cardiovascular health through breaking down fibrin. And fibrin is protein in the blood. And we talked about that a little bit. You know, the sludge that is in the blood, to clean the blood up, it is very important so that we don't have all the interferences and blockages building up in our arteries. So serrapeptidase dissolves fibrin and other dead or damaged tissue without harming living tissue. Again, there are no side effects. And I'll talk about fibrin here in another minute. Here are the free-flowing blood cells that I was talking about earlier. So if you take these enzymes, you see how these blood cells are not stacked on top of each other anymore like pancakes. They are free-flowing. Well, the serrapeptidase helps with that as well. This is one of the other enzymes that is great for that. It is used for sports injuries, post-operative swelling, ear, nose, and throat, sinus-type conditions. It helps to remove plaque from the arterial walls. Now, if you want to use it for that, to go to the blood, make sure you don't take it with food. Like I said, it's an enzyme. It can either be used by the food that's in your stomach, or if you take it on an empty stomach, it goes to the blood. So it can also be taken as a preventive to ward off strokes because, again, it breaks up the blood clots. A German study showed that patients who had had ankle surgery and were given serrapeptidase had a 50% reduction in swelling. Those not given the serrapeptidase had no reduction in swelling, so the obvious difference was the enzyme. They were also relieved of all discomfort by the 10th day after surgery. Can you imagine that people have surgery? Usually recovery is a lot longer than that. If you take the serrapeptidase or the green energy, I should say, 10 days after surgery, all discomfort will be gone. So that definitely is wonderful for recovery. Then there was a study done in India that found that serrapeptidase could help with carpal tunnel syndrome. Again, no side effects because, for one, serrapeptidase is a natural enzyme, but in this case, it's also plant-based enzyme. So it's food. In another double-blind study in the Singapore Medical Journal, they had 70 women with fibrocystic breast disease that were randomly divided into 2 groups. There was more reduction of breast discomfort and swelling in the women receiving serrapeptidase than women who did not receive it. Again, no adverse reactions. One thing I would say here, fibrocystic breast disease, I make sure that people eliminate caffeine as well as red meat, because those 2 also aggravate fibrocystic breast disease. Serrapeptidase may help prevent bacteria from creating protective biofilms, and here's that word fibrin again, around themselves. So, say you have an infection, right? What about maybe a respiratory infection? There is a bacteria in the lungs that's causing you harm, and you go to get an antibiotic. The antibiotic now attacks the bacteria, doesn't necessarily destroy or kill it, but what happens now, that bacteria goes in hiding in your body and it grows fibrin around itself. Now the immune system cannot see it. The bacteria is still in your body, and fibrin, this particular type of protein, also makes up what cancer cells are made from. So I have drawn that conclusion a long time ago. The risk between using antibiotics and cancer is fibrin. Every time you have an antibiotic, the bacteria goes in hiding. It grows this coating like a hull around that bacteria so it can hide from the immune system. And that is made up of fibrin. And like I said, cancer cells are made of fibrin. So you draw your own conclusions. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I want you to be educated as to what fibrin is and how the body makes it. So researchers found that serrapeptidase also helps lower the frequency of coughing and decrease the amount of sputum they coughed up. In the study, serrapeptidase also helped decrease the viscosity, the elasticity, and the presence of solid components of their secretion. So again, it liquefies it, so it breaks up and comes out of the body easier when you have a respiratory infection. This next study was done on 2 ingredients that are both found in the green energy, and that was the serrapeptidase combined with the nattokinase. It relieved irritants and apoptosis, or cell death, as we said, associated with conditions of memory loss in experimental models. Now, memory loss, we're talking about Alzheimer's, dementia type conditions. So again, I see so many people that take good care of themselves and still end up with dementia because they do not practice prevention in this particular area. We all have our sanity and our presence of mind, and we don't think about the future. We think, oh, it's not going to happen to me. And that's what most people think. Unless it runs in a family. I have a client who has it in her whole family, and we have majorly turned her around, which is wonderful. But it's something that we need to think of ahead of time because we don't want to go there, right? We don't want to be cooped up in a little room where we don't know anybody anymore. So the combination that is found in green energy of the serrapeptidase and the nattokinase can help prevent that. You excited yet? It's not a brain formula, but it is, right? Researchers found that when taken together, the serrapeptidase and nattokinase also increased levels of brain growth factor and insulin-like growth factor, IGF-1. IGF-1 is a key marker of brain health. It used to be available as a supplement. It disappeared off the market. I'm not going to go into why, but it's very critical. Now, I want to say here that if you have had bypass surgery, in other words, your food bypasses the stomach and it goes straight to the large intestines, your body will not be able to produce IGF-1. IGF-1 is made in the small intestines as the food from the stomach goes into the small intestines. So for you especially, this would be a key ingredient to take for prevention. Serrapeptidase has also been used in inflammatory bowel conditions like ulcerative colitis. Other uses include treatment of blood sugar imbalances, leg wounds, chronic respiratory problems, and pus accumulations or infections. Here again are the references. I'll give you a moment if you want to take a screenshot, if you want to take a picture of it. Everything is backed by clinical studies. So nobody can say it's nonsense, right? What we have is solid information. Then I'm going to go on to the protease enzymes that are in green energy. Isn't this a powerhouse? All these wonderful enzymes. I've seldom seen a combination like this. I've never seen a combination like this. Let me rephrase that. So protease produces the enzyme amylase. Amylase is an enzyme, as some of you may know, that is produced in the mouth to help digest carbohydrates. It is beneficial and symbiotic component for probiotic bacteria. It's a precursor. It helps to break down sugar into simpler components so our healthy bacteria can quickly absorb and use it. Enzymes are the support staff for all non-pathogenic bacteria, and they are essentials to our well-being. They're essential for proper immune function. They're essential for regular bowel function and for a healthy GI tract. We all know that this is where all disease begins, right? Bowels, GI tract, gut, so important. Protease B is also present in green energy. It activates the production of specific antibodies, interferons, and cytokines that help white blood cells fight illnesses and cancer cells. Again, you need to take it on an empty stomach. Excuse me. It helps with urinary tract conditions, bowel problems, and even runny stool or diarrhea. Many times we use other products that contains certain fibers to help reduce diarrhea. But many times, an enzyme can do the trick. I've seen it in people that didn't produce enough enzymes that ended up with diarrhea, and all they needed, again, was an enzyme. Scientists advocated for gut, urinary, and viral conditions. It also is shown to decrease the duration of respiratory problems in children. So here is wonderful again, because again, no side effects. It is a plant food. It grows rapidly and has been used for the production of enzymes, again, like amylase, which is a prebiotic. And then some of you may know what hyaluronic acid is. Hyaluronic acid is touted for its joint benefits. It's also useful in skin health, joint lubrication, esophageal health problems that are due to acid reflux. Again, it is protective. It helps prevent. It is a key formula for complete health. Protease B, if taken orally, it survives stomach acid. And it also can reproduce rapidly. That's what you want. You want something that can reproduce in the body. Okay, so you don't have to take as much, right? We all love that. It survives because it can transform into a spore, and this spore can survive heat. It survives stomach acid. It survives drying, and it is still alive as it makes its way into your intestines. That is just wonderful to have living bacteria in the intestines coming from this protease B. Produces enzymes, again, prebiotics and probiotics that support both your GI conditions as well as the prevention of bacterial overgrowth, or yeast overgrowth, as we call it many times. Just these are bacteria that we do not want too much of in our body. A small amount of candida is present naturally in the body. There's nothing wrong with that. But most people, due to acid conditions in the body, too many starches, too many acid-forming foods, the use of antibiotics, steroids, what have you, shutting down the immune system, you develop a yeast overgrowth. So again, the protease B can help prevent that. And here are additional references for the last section that you might like to look up. Like I said, I don't know how many people like to geek out like I do, but they're quite interesting and really gives you good insight. And this is the end of my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has questions. Now, how many people, I want to know, are going to take green energy that have not taken it before? Anybody home?
Can you hear me, Inge?
I can hear you.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people are, a lot. It's cool. We did this presentation on the road show, but then this time was actually even better because you were able to expand on your comments a little bit, I guess. But Denise said, awesome. Wow, this was a wonderful presentation, Inge. Thank you for presenting valuable information. Facebook user says, I'm going to start using green energy. This is a product that I've always liked myself, but one of the things I'd like for you to touch base on, Inge, is the name green energy. A lot of people hesitate taking it in the evenings or at night because it says green energy. Can you comment a minute on that?
I'd be more than happy to. The energy comes from cellular energy. For example, when you saw the blood cells stacked on top of each other the first time, as we call it, Rouleaux, there's no energy in those blood cells. The picture that I showed you when I was talking about the serrapeptidase, you saw the blood cells flowing freely. Those blood cells were energized. And that is what green energy does. It energizes your cells, your blood cells. It doesn't give you caffeine.
We have a question that says, would you suggest taking it 3 times a day in general? And if so, on an empty stomach?
So again, if you take it on an empty stomach, it goes into the blood. It cleans up debris that is in the blood that does not belong. It can help clear arterial walls. So it has all those benefits. If you have indigestion, I'm actually thinking about, I need to take it 5 times a day. I need to take it with every meal, and I need to take it in between meals. I just can't get it in often enough. But think if you have digestive issues, if you don't have 3 good bowel movements a day, you're not digesting your food. So you might add a little bit to your food as well. But yeah, for the cellular level and for the blood, absolutely, you take it on an empty stomach.
Awesome. Awesome. And then the last thing is this, as you mentioned during the road show, one of the questions came up, or one of your comments came up about how when you take this, I take it at night. I take it at night before I go to bed. I wake up feeling refreshed. I don't know, refreshed, is that the right answer? And you talked about how this product helps you while you're sleeping as far as the energy it creates when your body's healing itself. Can you touch base on that a minute?
So the body has a body clock. There is a 24-hour clock where the body deals with different organs, and it's during the night, it's a lot of cleansing that takes place. Like, a lot of people don't sleep between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, that's their liver acting up. Okay, the liver needs help, and oxygen helps all that. Between 3 and 5, if you wake up between 3 and 5, your lungs are having problems. So the respiratory system needs help. And if you enable the body and give the body some help in those areas, you will have better quality of sleep. And yes, you will wake up more refreshed and more energized in the morning, versus your body is trying to work to do this all night and it doesn't have what it needs to perform the job.
Gotcha. Gotcha. One more question that came up in the chat is, it seems like I've heard this helps with Lyme disease. Is that true? Or would you think that would help with Lyme disease?
Honestly, unless I find clinical studies on this is not what I use in Lyme disease. Can it help the body in general? Absolutely. But Lyme disease, depending on if people have been treated with antibiotics by their doctors, how long they've had it, how deep it is in the body, you may need something a little bit more aggressive, but it can help the body overall. Like I said, unless I see something on it, I'm not going to say that this will help with Lyme disease, because I will not. If I can't back it, I can't claim it.
Sure, sure. And that's one of the reasons that we appreciate you coming on and sharing, because you're always speaking from your heart and from your experience and from clinical trials. And it seems that a lot of people in today's world talk about Lyme disease. And with our essentials products and our super green juice products, we have the prebiotics, the probiotics, the digestive enzymes. Any thoughts or comments on Lyme disease?
Alan, I have created a protocol with Touchstone products for Lyme disease to support the body.
Uh-huh.
I have to be honest, I use one singular product that is not a Touchstone product, because sure, I just need a powerhouse product to destroy that disease, so to speak. Right. But many times, if we don't support the body in all the other areas so the body can deal with it and can overcome it, then it is a battle and people go downhill. So yes, I have developed a protocol of different Touchstone products to support the body through that process.
Yeah. And thanks for being honest with that. And because there are, we have the solution for a lot of products. We have amazing products, a lot of products that are preventative, that treat a lot of things and can help a lot of things, but we don't have the answer to everything. And I'm glad you said that, because it's so true. And I know I get every single day, I get people saying, well, can Inge touch base with this? Can Inge touch base with that? And Lord, if I sent you every request, you wouldn't have time to sleep. But we really appreciate your feedback and sharing your knowledge and your wisdom with this. And I think that's all the questions that we have for tonight. And I just want to tell you how much we appreciate you coming on and sharing your wisdom with us. I think she's been muted out. All right, gang. Well, hey, listen, thanks a lot. Please comment, message Inge, let her know how much we appreciate her. And we appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next Wednesday. But listen, before you go, let me tell you something. On the 25th, mark this down on your calendar, May the 25th, that's 2 weeks from tonight. I'm going to be doing this training, and I'm going to have Eddie Stone joining me. We're going to be talking about the launch of our new fulvic acid product. We're going to be going into the details about it, the ingredients on there, the launch system, how we're going to launch, when we're going to launch, the fact that existing VBOs and customers are going to have a time where they can get a discounted price on the front end before it's launched to the public. So mark that down. May the 25th, that's 2 weeks from tonight at 8:30. Starting next week, my trainings are going to be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Central. I've had a lot of requests for people asking me to move it up an hour or 30 minutes. And so I'm going to move up 30 minutes to 8:30 Eastern time on Wednesday. So we'll be here next Wednesday as well. But I want to make sure that you mark down, because we've got a new fulvic product coming that's absolutely amazing. It's going to be a game changer. We've been privy to some confidential information about it. And just let me tell you, when you hear this information on May the 25th, 2 weeks from tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, you're going to be blown away. So make sure you're there. Make sure your team is there. And we're going to be putting this live, that training, on the YouTube channel, just like we are tonight. Every Wednesday night is on the YouTube channel. So make sure that you get your prospects and customers plugged in as well. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Really appreciate your attendance. Thank you again to Inge for her wisdom, her knowledge, and sharing her expertise with us. It's always great to hear the amazing information that she shares.